Hey everybody, it's Mike Watson here. Just wanted to take a minute and show you a very simple deal analysis formula that I use. One of the mistakes new investors and even experienced investors that haven't done a lot of deals make, one of the mistakes they make is they find a piece of property and they spend an enormous amount of time analyzing it, and then they find out it's not a good deal and they've wasted a bunch of time. So I have a simple formula I use where I can pull up to a property, and with a few numbers on my computer in a few minutes, I can decide if this is a deal I should aggressively pursue or one I should walk away from. And I want to share that. So if you look down here at the bottom, one of the things we take is we start with the acquisition cost. So if a property's for sale, that's the purchase price is what we call the acquisition cost. That's what we're paying for the property. Then we quickly, and we understand there can be a range of values because we're not certain. We haven't gotten hard bids yet, but we decide what we think the cost to change would be. And this is simply how much it would cost to change the property from what it is to its highest and best use. So we take that acquisition cost plus the cost of change, and that equals the total acquisition cost. Now, what I'm going to do is with that total acquisition cost is once we change the use, we know that we've changed the value. So if I buy something, I change it with some money, and I spend some money fixing it up, I know there's going to be a future value. So we then compare the total acquisition cost versus the future value. Now, if the future value is at least 20% more than the total acquisition cost, we have a great chance this is a good deal. And then we put the property under contract and move full speed ahead at doing more evaluation. So we certainly don't spend a lot of time until we have this formula in place, and we can move ahead knowing that we've got a good deal if the numbers look good. So let me give you two quick examples that I think this will help make some more sense. So here's a Payson lot that one of my students purchased. I'm in a partnership with a couple of students on a couple properties down in Payson. We found a piece of property. It was just a lot, a building lot, and we knew in that area that the highest and best use was not a building lot. It in fact was a twin home lot. So we ended up buying the single family lot for $60,000. We estimated $10,000 to $15,000 and settled on the number $12,000 for curb, gutter, sidewalk, some architectural and engineering fees and fees at the city. We felt like that'd be a pretty close number. And then if you add those two numbers together, your acquisition cost plus your cost to change, that means the total acquisition cost for the property would be $72,000. Now, I can very quickly say, if I've got a twin home lot here and I know where it's at and I know what size it is and I can pretend that it's finished and converted, we had a comp about 8 or 9 blocks away that sold 6 weeks before this purchase for $117,000. So we figured our future potential here would be $110,000, meaning $117,000 minus some commissions and closing costs. We felt real comfortable we could get around $110,000. If we take $110,000 minus $72,000, that gives us a potential profit of $38,000. $38,000 divided by that future value of $110 is 34.54%. And I am excited. I'm thrilled. I'm writing an offer and I'm moving full speed ahead. So that deal comes out ahead of 20%. Now, on retail, commercial, high-level multifamily of over five units or more, or raw land, we look at 30% plus. But gosh, if you're over 20% on something, I want you to pick up the phone and call me or shoot me an email, because we've got some great numbers here now. So this is a great deal to move ahead on, and we certainly are doing that right now. Here's another example of a deal I'd like you to bring to me. You'll find in my system, I love to partner with my students, those that are in educational systems with me. I partner with you. I offer partnership. Here's an example of a 10-unit apartment complex. Many of you are finding out I really like condo conversions. And here's a deal. Let's say we bought a 10-plex for $1.1 million. We divide that by 10 doors because there's 10 units inside the building. That comes out to $110,000 a door. I'm paying $110,000 each. Now, if I factor that I need some carpet and paint and rehab in each of them, a new roof and some parking lot and architectural engineering fees, let's assume we're going to pay about $12,000 per door. This will be a little bit hard for you to start picking these numbers out of the air, but pick something that's a little generous and turn it in. If it looks good, turn it in. If it's close, turn it in. And I'll look at it and I'll dial those numbers in a little bit better for you. But we'll have $120,000, and that's $12,000 per door. So if you add the $1.1 million acquisition cost plus $120,000 cost to change, then that leaves us a $1.22 million total acquisition cost, or that means I'm paying $122,000 a door fixed up and converted to condos. Now, the only question left is how much do those condos sell for? So I can pull up the computer there. I can do some comparables at a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 900 square foot remodeled condos, and I find they're selling for $175,000. We'll call it $170 after some closing costs and expenses. So roughly 170,000 a door. Now, 170,000 a door times 10 doors, because there's 10 units, is $1.7 million. Now, if I subtract 1,220,000 from 1.7 million, that gives me a profit of 480,000, or a whopping $48,000 a door, since there's 10 units. Now, if I take the 480,000 divided by the 1.7 million, that gives me a 28.24% profit, and I'm smiling all the way to the paper where I'm signing a contract, getting that going, and we're off and running. So guys, again, this is a simple formula. Acquisition cost plus cost of change equals total acquisition cost. How does that compare to the future value? If those look good and just a simple analysis, then you better get that deal under contract and get that going. If you want to shoot that deal to me and you happen to be one of my students, we can partner on that deal, and I'd love to work with you. So simple formula. Mike Watson, I'm out.